Welcome to Damsels in Dialogue, a podcast dedicated to the female protagonists in fiction, film, and the stage. Co-hosted by Katie Zutter
and Indy Marie Prawl. For the end of our third season, we are hosting our second annual Maiden Madness tournament. This year, our March Madness-style competition puts the supportive sweethearts of Disney and Pixar animation head-to-head to see who will wear the crown.
This episode, we are joined by special guest Marissa Longo to see which of our Sweet 16 will survive the full rubric and emerge as our Elite 8. This is Maiden Madness. All right, friends, here we are.
Welcome
to the Elite 8, everyone. We are very excited because today, as you heard in our intro, we have a guest with us.
Yes.
Marissa is here with us. And anything you'd like to say about yourself?
Hi. I don't know. I feel underqualified for this.
You know what? I think we're all perfectly qualified for this.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
We've all seen a Disney movie at least once.
Oh my gosh.
I feel qualified to judge them. I did not feel qualified to accurately fill out the rubric I was sent.
Okay.
It required some further research. I couldn't do it off the top of my head. There was no way that was happening.
Yeah, I would agree.
And today we're using our full rubric. So it's going to be the sweetheart and it's going to be the supportive section of this all combined together for our Elite 8. We're getting to the big numbers.
I got scared. I had to ask Katie. I was like, these are really high numbers. Did I do this right?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, that's good. If we are, we're in the Elite 8, it should be high numbers. And if they're not high numbers, why are you here, Bob?
Oh, yeah. So if
Bob is not here,
made it through.
Bob made it through, and we were very upset about that with the numbers. So we are glad that he is not here today. Sorry, Bob.
I mean, Incredibles 1, Bob Parr is a bad person.
Yes, exactly.
He's not doing. He's not
exactly, and that is why
he's not the hero of that story. And
we're only doing the first movie.
Yes.
So that was how he made it to round 2, do not know, but that's fine because he's out of sight, out of mind. Because first up, we are talking about David from Lilo and Stitch versus Pacha from The Emperor's New Groove.
David, we've gushed about last week. Finally got to talk about him, but we never got to talk about his sweetheart.
We didn't.
He had the pass week.
Yeah, he did get a pass. Guys, I scored him really high.
I do. But so I love to talk about sweetheart first, just because we haven't gotten to it.
Yeah. Marissa, did you also score him high?
He has 1 3, but nothing below a 3.
Oh, he has 2 3s for me.
Oh, he has 2. We have the same score.
I don't know.
Maybe on the count of 3. Scored him even higher.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
I kind of want to see if we have the same score on the count of 3. Say just the sweetheart section.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
36.
Oh my god! I think it is very safe to say that David is a 36.
That's amazing. That has never happened in the history of Maiden Madness. He's the most solid 36 that has ever 36.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, then I guess, do you want to
He's great.
Yeah, he's great. Do you want to quickly recap maybe where he didn't get top marks and that's it? Because
he got 2 3s for me. So he got responsible purely because he sets a hut on fire.
Yeah.
That's just purely why he gets
That's
a 3.
exactly right.
Amazing.
And I did give him a 3 for self-awareness.
I gave him a 3 for self-awareness
I feel like he lacks a little bit of the knowledge of himself.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of confidence in some areas, So I gave him the other 3 in selfless.
Really?
Now that I'm looking at that, I'm confused. Because responsible makes more sense. What was your other low one, Marissa?
It was just 1 3 and then a few 4s.
Oh, where'd you put his 4s?
Yeah. Okay. I gave him a 4 for self-awareness and a 4 for moral integrity.
Oh, okay.
I could see that. Yeah, you don't get too much of a taste for exactly who he is really in the movie.
I don't know. I want to believe his intentions are pure, but how much do I actually?
David.
He doesn't wear a shirt the whole movie.
So he knows. Maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe my self-awareness is too low.
Maybe he's very self-aware.
Yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely could see that.
Yeah. Wherever you put the numbers, though, Solid 36.
Solid 36.
Solid
I mean,
36.
that conversation is over, guys.
Yeah, we're done with that. Moving on. Supportive. I did give him, and this might be so in the supportive category, I did give him a 2 and does not exist to solely be a love interest. I feel like he is put in this movie to be the love interest of Nani. He does other things, but I do feel like he's built narratively for her.
Yeah, I thought the opposite. I gave him a 5 for that because they never get together in this, and she constantly tells him no, and he's fine with that. A lot of his purpose in the film is to bring light to it, as opposed to bring romance. If that makes sense. But I could knock him down.
That's what
because
I
what you say
understand
also makes sense.
I don't think he's ever with Nani when Lilo's not there.
I don't think they have any alone time.
Like,
they have one conversation.
When she goes to the
Oh, he takes her to get the job too.
Yeah. Okay.
Which he got for her because he is just great and knows she needs it.
But Lilo's like on the other side of the door. It's like she's still kind of there. It's not like they like left without.
No.
Okay. I can be a 3 on that.
I knocked him down too because he definitely still is very much a love interest.
Yeah. Does anyone have anything below a 3 for David?
No.
Now I have 3 3s.
No.
I have 3 3s.
2 3s and a couple 4s.
Nice. Okay, because I only have 1 4. So I like what are the 3s for you?
Well, I just changed does not exist to solely be the love interest. And then admits fault and calls out sexism because like
same.
Yeah. Calls out sexism.
Where?
Yeah, it just doesn't exist. I think he would. I believe in him, but he just doesn't get the chance.
Because he's even right there. I do appreciate that comment, which I don't know if it totally fits anywhere here. But I love his comment, which is very reminiscent of, I know this comment came first, but kind of like Frozen 2 Kristoff, where he says like, what do you need? Yeah. David says it first.
Yeah, he does.
David is holding Lilo, and when life is falling apart, he's holding Lilo against his chest, and he asks Nani like, how can I help? Like, what can I do for you? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did want to make sure that was mentioned in here because I'm not sure where exactly that would.
Awesomeness, just like plus 10. It's great.
Very available. Maybe that's emotionally available. I don't know.
Oh, I could see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 5s for that. Ego's not fragile at all. I think he listens and acknowledges women like crazy. 5s for sure.
I will say not many characters, in defense of everyone else, not many characters get the opportunity to be amongst the family of their significant other. So David does get that added bonus of being around Lilo all the time, but you can just tell that he goes the extra mile constantly for her as well. So
he gets the plus 5 for Bechdel test, and he gets the plus 2 for positive other female relationships, which some also don't get. So I really enjoyed that as well. But we will I want to save final scores and let's move over to Pacha. So let's do Sweetheart first. He actually got no 3s for me.
Same.
He is all 4s and 5s.
Yeah, I thought he did really good. We talked about this a little before we were filming. I feel like he did so well in this Sweetheart strictly because the type of person that can travel for so long with someone like Kuzco. Yeah. I mean, you gotta be a saint.
Yeah.
Truly.
I have to be controversial.
Do it.
I gave him 1 3.
Where is it? Tell me.
For honesty and moral integrity.
Ooh, I could.
Why? Tell us.
He's a little bit of a liar.
I actually could see that. He does.
He does not tell his wife about Kuzco's plan for his.
I thought about that.
Whatever vacation home with the water slide.
That is very true. I am knocking him down.
Yeah. And then he also
off of that,
kind of lies to Kuzco later on about it too.
He does. Come to think of it, so he's still for me. I gave him a 4, but he did have a 5, which I nixed a point off for that. Yes,
I can see that
makes total sense.
And some of these, no matter how well intentioned, it still is the category. So I think,
I
do. It is like to his wife specifically. So,
and I do like that you get the idea that if he stayed in the house too long, she would absolutely get the truth out of him.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, he's great,
but doesn't stop the fact that he did.
I gave him, he has 2 5s for me. He has a 5 for kind and empathetic.
That is because where my only 5 is now.
Nice.
Everything else is a 4.
And I gave him a 5 for loving, but I think I did that because of how you see him act with his kids, like that. So I could see that. I understand 4 or 5 for that, just of how much time he actually gets to spend in the movie doing that versus the little time that how he uses it. So that's the other 5.
That's true. And how he is very caring with his wife.
Yeah.
I like that. Still scored like much higher than some of these other characters who were with their significant others the entire movie.
Yes. Yes. He ended up with a 32 for me in Sweetheart.
33 for me.
Nice.
I gave him a lot more 5s than you guys. That's 36.
That's great. Where are your other 5s? Tell us.
Yeah. Kind and empathetic.
Yeah, that was
respectful.
Oh, I could see that.
He is very respectful.
And self-awareness that I don't know that I agree with that anymore. But
he does,
I don't know.
he's
I was feeling really generous.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I thought I don't know. He's really proud of that poncho.
He is really proud of that poncho.
And I don't know why. I was like, yeah, he owns it. I don't know.
Yeah. I
don't know.
I love that that's the reason. It totally is legitimate. Like, that's definitely...
Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to own it too.
Please own it. Own that. I think Pacha deserves that 36. Like, he's great. He was definitely one of those that surprised me. Because I just forgot about
I totally forgot how great he is.
Yeah.
So for the supportive section, just looking at this for me, I didn't give him anything lower than a 3.
Same.
Actually, funnily enough, he only got 3s or 5s. Which part of that is he was able to do it and received a very high score, or you can assume that he's at least average at it, is kind of where I went with that. So how did everybody else kind of stack up?
I have a decent mix of 3, 4, 5s.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a decent mix. I did give him 3 3s. Calls out sexism because he doesn't really have a chance to do that. The see them fall in love relationship grows. I mean, their relationship stays the same, but it's just great. I hate faulting people for that, but it's just, it kind of stays the same in a great way. And then celebrates Sweetheart's success. He doesn't really get to be there when you see his wife succeed at stalling Yzma, but he's not there to celebrate it. No. So he doesn't really have a chance. I think he would, but he doesn't really have a chance to do that. So I gave him a 3 there as well.
Yeah, I gave him a 5 for that, and I don't know why.
Because he would.
I feel
he would, but it's just what are the moments in the actual film?
I don't know.
Yeah, and he is great. I did give him only a 3 for caring towards those important to Sweetheart, but I feel like that should be at least a 4.
Oh, I gave him a 5 because of the kids.
I need to bump that up.
Yeah, those kids. You see the little bit of time you see with his kids is just really, really sweet.
I gave him an average for admits fault.
I gave him a 4, but I don't know why. Maybe I think he owns
doesn't
up.
Do very much wrong.
Yeah.
In his defense, he doesn't have much to admit fault for. But even those little lies that he tells, the little white lies, he doesn't super own up to. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
because it's more of a stall tactic to give him more time to get Cusco to agree.
Yeah, really terms. Cusco's the one that needs to apologize for this entire
Cusco needs to apologize to so many people. Yeah. His entire nation, let's be real.
Yeah, that is so true. For the social media and patron votes.
Oh yes, between these two, where they line up.
David was the overwhelming favorite of which is it was still Pacha still got a decent percentage of the votes, but David I think David was 67% on there. So it was still a contest, but clearly won by David. So our patrons gave him 3 points, and then social media gave him 1. So David has a +4 on top of his original score. And Pacha unfortunately did not get any, but we still love him.
Yeah, we still love him. Shall we?
Yes.
Divulge without the scores added on top.
The original totals. So my final scores for David, my final score was a 91. Amazing. For Pacha, my final score was an 86. And with the additions, David ends up with a 95.
Yeah. David for me, 92.
Nice.
Pacha, a 83. I still want to say that score for
so
Pacha
high
is still very high. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Marissa, how did yours sign up?
David is 91.
Yes.
So we're all right in the same boat.
And Pacha is an 85.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
We're all right in that.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So David's
Excellent.
a clear winner.
You did it right.
You did.
Yes. Do you feel better now that you have heard our scores about your scores?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, they're this super high. I feel so bad that I promise I randomly did this bracket because Pacha and Felix are two huge
They were
hitters.
such high scores.
And they just happened to be
Yeah.
against David. And I'm just so upset that they ended up that way.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
Pacha really proved that he deserved to be in this spot. So
he did.
I'm so glad he made it here. But David is moving on.
Yes.
Next up, we have Shang from Mulan versus Tarzan from Tarzan. What are we talking about first?
Shang's on top. So let's talk about Shang.
Perfect.
And his sweetheart score
is so interesting to me because he does not know that this is his love interest until the end of the movie.
Yes.
But I think it says a lot about him of how well he treats her regardless for a long time. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I really, really like that about him. I'm so interested. Where are your threes for the, is there anything below a 3 in Sweetheart and where do those exist?
He definitely has a couple 3s, but nothing below a 3.
Okay. Where'd you place those?
Kind of pathetic. Generous with belonging time.
Same.
And loving.
Those were where my 3s were.
Great.
Did you have any extra, Marissa?
5 for loving.
Really?
Oh, really?
Ooh. Yeah.
Why?
Why? Dad?
Yeah.
Because I am now realizing I completely forgot his entire moment when he witnesses that his dad has died and takes a big old moment about that. But why did you give him a 5?
I don't know. I don't know that there's a moment where I would be like, that's not loving. Like there are times where I'm like, that's not kind or respectful.
For
but there wasn't a time where I was like, he's not a person that like leads with love.
Yeah.
But he's
Very
also
true.
like not loving. I don't know. I gave him a 2 for generous with his belongings and time.
Okay.
I
could see that.
And then 3s for kind and empathetic and respectful.
Ooh, respectful.
Ooh. Respectful, I gave him a 4 only because I feel like his whole thing is like honor and duty and sacrifice and all that kind of stuff. How he didn't get the 5 is, even though he does let her live, he's still like kind of rude to her when she comes back and goes, nah.
Yeah.
Like stuff's about to go down. You have to listen to me. And he's like, what are you even doing here? And blows her off quite a bit, despite her still being the person who saved his life not very long ago. So I did not give him a 5 for that, but I did give him a 4 for respectful.
I can do that.
I don't know if that changes anything.
I had to just dock points for the entirety of Be a Man. Just
Fair. Understandable.
just like half of the ethos of that song just you had to like shred it down a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I made up for it in supportive though.
Ooh, okay. So let's move on.
Well, here, do we want to say our total scores for Sweetheart?
Yes.
32 for
32.
32.
Stop it, guys.
Solid
We are so insane.
32.
Okay.
Solid
32.
So
great.
So, supportive. Did anybody have anything? Once again, I had quite a few 3s, but like, did anybody else have lower than a 3?
I did not.
I didn't give him any 3s. It's only 4s and 5s.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
I have quite a bit of 3s. So okay.
He did get many 4 and 5s.
Well, okay. So let's start with any 3s that we have to see, like, maybe I can bump them up a little bit because I have quite a few 3s in mine.
I have only 3 3s.
Okay. I have 5.
Okay.
Should we go down the line?
Yes.
Give us your 3s and we'll see where mine also agree and where Marissa can tuck us up. Or
I did a 3 for admits fault.
Same. That was one of my 3s as well.
He doesn't apologize fully. There's kind of an unspoken apology at the end.
Which is why I didn't give him an NA. I thought he deserved at least the 3 because he did go there to return things and such.
Yeah, so I could see it maybe bumping up to like a 4, but he doesn't really do anything super wrong either.
True.
That's the thing. So it's just not something that fully came up, but I do feel like there's an unspoken apology at the end, but he doesn't actually vocalize anything. I had a 3 for listens and acknowledges women because
I did as well.
One, he just is only around Mulan is the only woman that you see. And he doesn't listen to her very specifically. I could see it going down to a 2, even though he ends up listening to her, which is why it's a 3, after like purely ignoring her warning when she comes back.
Yeah, I gave him a 3 because I think it negates that because
that's
he does let her live, thus like acknowledging that he still respected her regardless.
Yeah.
And then also in the end, when he flips sides immediately and someone tries to be like, we're not bowing to this woman. And he is not about it.
Yeah. Well, that's what the calls out sexism. He's one of the few people we talked last week that actually does it.
He actually gets points in that. I gave him a 4.
Yeah.
Does it deserve a 5 because he is talking directly to someone who ranks significantly higher than him? Possibly. Not sure. Where did you put him for there, Marissa?
I gave him a 5.
Okay. I could see that because he's like the only one who does
I know. It's like,
does he deserve the 5 because he's the only one?
It's kind of a major point of the movie.
It really is.
Okay. It's important. I don't know.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Because it's one of the few people who does it, and it's blatant. It's not casual. Yeah. It's very blatant.
It really is.
So another 3 that I gave him was emotionally available. I feel like he is very stoic, specifically because of his position and his training.
Oh, for sure.
Until the end, you just get that like little bit of him.
I gave him a 4.
Okay.
Because I think, and maybe this is just my headcanon and someone cut me down from this clip, but I feel like he was falling for her a little bit before he knew.
I think they became best
he
friends.
Really, really respected her and really was open to that. Whether or not he was like, yes, I'm going to date Ping. Like, I don't know if that specifically crossed his mind, but he definitely was opening himself up a lot to her specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I still didn't think it was a 5 because he didn't know. And I just gave him above a 3 because I think he was very, very open and emotionally there because he does listen to some of those conversations that she has, or those comments rather, to him about, well, I think you're a great soldier. And I think he really relies on those because he doesn't get that from anybody else. Yeah. So that's why I gave him a 4 instead of a 3.
Okay.
That's why I gave him a 4 too.
I can see that.
Don't think he needs a 5. Don't think it's
Yeah. But I can see that.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the other
The other 3s I had caring towards those important to Sweetheart. He just meets parents and things.
Yeah, I don't know why I have a 4 there either. I feel like other than being respectful to Dad, but that's already, he's just a respectful human being.
Yeah, he doesn't give him the chance, I don't think.
Yeah,
for the first movie at least.
Right.
I also feel like I gave him a 4, but I feel like it should be a 3 because he's not nice to her friends either.
True. True.
Really not nice.
Do they deserve it sometimes? Probably. But still could be nicer.
Yeah. The other 3 was relevance to today. I don't know. It's such a hard thing. Maybe it's not a hard thing to be relevant. The idea
I gave it a 4. I liked the idea of somebody falling in love with and respecting somebody and being friends with them first before seeing, oh, I could be romantically interested in you.
Yeah. Maybe I was trying to get through like the
didn't
whole
think
like,
it was a 5.
Like the in a wars.
Oh yeah, that's not relatable at all. But like, did he age well as a character?
Oh, he totally did. That's true.
Like, absolutely. Is it a 5? Not sure.
Okay. The age well being part of it, you're right. I agree with that. Okay. So those were I had the 3s and the rest were like the 4s and 5s.
Oh, I had 3 in Ego Not Fragile because I thought it was. I
gave him a 4. His ego is not overly tested, but he also at the end joins them in the scheme. So maybe that bumps him up to a 4 because he is the idea of an ego being that like taking charge in that culture, like taking orders kind of from Mulan in a sense. Like maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Where did you have him there, Marissa?
I gave him a 5, but I don't know that that's the right choice.
Currently I have him a 3. Do I move him to a 4?
I think
it feels like this is all leaning towards a 4.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure I do that.
I just feel like he's quick enough to rebuff orders to follow Mulan.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I see that.
when he's made a fool of, he doesn't when he essentially is made a fool of when a woman is revealed in his army. And
very true. A person that he highly respected.
Yeah.
And
would have recommended.
Like almost got himself killed saving or trying to save. He ended up being saved by her.
Yeah. So
classic.
I think that might be a little bit of the ego of like, it could have completely deflated someone to know that you were saved by a woman in that time and place.
Who's like a quarter of your size.
Yeah, exactly.
Embarrassing.
I think, so I definitely think a 4, like even thinking about that, I could see it popping up. Like that makes sense to me.
Okay, so then wrapping up with Shang Tarzan, jumping into Sweetheart. What was everyone's low scores for him?
He got a 2 for me.
He did. He did get 1 too.
Yes,
for me. Everything else was like,
but it's a sweet reason. Like he got a 2 for self-awareness because I just think he has absolutely no self-awareness at all. But it's, charming.
Oh, for sure. I gave him a 3 for that same reason. But it's like a charming self-awareness. I did give him a 2 for responsible.
Oh, that's fair. I gave him a 3 because
I gave him a 3 and I was pretty close to dropping it down.
Yeah, he does not do the responsible thing at all.
Like almost ever.
No.
Which is why I'm like, do you even deserve average? I don't think so, because you're constantly told, like, this is what you should and should not do. And he constantly goes, like, when Turk is the voice of reason, that you are doing something wrong.
Okay, that's fair.
It was initially a 3, just like purely based on the amount of swinging he does and how he like throws Jane through the trees. But like as the movie continued, I was like,
very fair. I didn't think about that.
He had her
responsible with his body.
Which could feed into the self-awareness. Just absolutely no sense of self-awareness.
Very true. Very true.
Oh, we love that for you, Tarzan, but you know. That is fair. That was the lowest, though.
Yeah,
that was
everything
the lowest
else.
For me.
Yeah, the selfless and self-awareness were 3s, but everything else, like real high 4s, 5s.
Yeah, no, I did. I had a lot of 5s, but I did have a selfless at the 3 because of how much spending time with Jane is the irresponsible stuff for his family. So it is a very selfish act, even if we're all here for it.
He also doesn't seem to ask them their opinions on, like, he doesn't ask mom, hey, do you want to meet this girl? It's like, hey, mom, I have her. She's right here. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit.
Self-awareness might need to be a 1.
Don't like that.
He's thinking through.
Is that, or is that more respectful? Like he doesn't even ask the consent or talk to his mom, who clearly has a very good relationship with.
For sure. For sure.
So it is kind of silly that it didn't make sense to me that he wouldn't have that conversation. Like it could have been oh yes, Tarzan has told me all about you.
But she is totally surprised when she appears.
Yes.
Yeah. She has no idea.
Yeah. So I do see that. I could see maybe respectful moving down to a 4. I did give him a 5, and I think it's purely with how overly respectful he is specifically of Kerchak.
Even though he goes against a lot of things of the hierarchy. That's the only reason I didn't give him
the
a 5.
only thing he does above the hierarchy is technically protect the family. He disregards orders, I guess, without staying away.
Because Kerchak does not respect him at all. But maybe that's just a Kerchak thing. Because he seems to be offended by him a lot.
Yeah. But he does like lay
for sure
Sabor at his feet and like in a very like overly. So I could see that being a 4 because there is some wishy-washiness in this.
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be less than a 4. I don't think.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I gave him a 4.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay, good. Kind of pathetic, honest, moral integrity. Both of those I gave him 5s.
Yeah, I agree.
Same with loving. I think he's incredibly loving.
I do too. I do too.
The whole shipwreck scene is just like a love pile.
Oh, yes. I agree. So I ended up with his total scores at a 31.
Same, 31.
With those adjustments, 31. Did we?
Guys. Did you get a 31 too? Stop it.
No.
Oh, what did you get?
I was way nicer to him.
Okay, where are your high scores? What did you give him total?
Well, the total is 36.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I think I gave him basically the same 5s as you. I just only gave him 1 3 and then the rest are 4s.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he only got 2 3s and everything else was.
He did get the 2, 1 2. The 1 2 kills,
the singular 2. Should we jump to supportive? He
so
only got 2 NA 3s for me. That's
he
it.
got a 3 and a 2 for me.
Yep.
He did get 2 legitimate 3s, I will say.
Ooh, okay. Where were yours?
2 NA 3s because he didn't get a chance to do it. But he would call out sexism if he knew what
if he understood what
if he knew what it was, Tarzan would get a 5 out of 5, friends.
Yeah. But no, definitely 3 for that.
The other NA is give space agency to Sweetheart. I ended up giving him an NA for that because I feel like they both are just educating and he's like, I want to see this. I want to take you here. So it's not a negative NA. It's more of a, what opportunities does either of them have to each other to be like, let you do this thing. Like, that's not, it's more of a, I'm teaching you this right now because I'm so excited to show you this thing, which is not a bad thing at all. Like, I do love that for both of them. But because especially of the communication, like they can't give each other a whole lot of agency. And he also gives her 0 space the entire amount of time.
Right.
He is constantly on top of her and gives her no space. Yeah. So I gave him balance all that out.
Katie, I think you're chickening out. I gave him a legitimate 3.
Okay. I will remove the NA. He is getting a legitimate 3.
Because I understand it's like their attempt at communicating when they first meet. But she's visibly uncomfortable with how close he is. And I feel like you don't need to understand English to understand that. Yeah. And it just like continued to a point where I was like, I gotta take a point.
She keeps trying to get away from him. And he does not at any point let her go and keeps grabbing for her and keeps.
Yeah.
And you see, Katie, you're saying all of these words, but you're like, but it doesn't apply.
It does apply.
I removed the NA. It is that you are 1,000% right, Marissa. Thank you for putting me in my place.
Thank you.
He gets a solid 3 and no NA.
Because I don't think lower. I think 3 is a solid one for that.
Yeah.
He never takes control from her. Like, it's just that first initial meeting when he gets up in the spice. But I think the last half of the film balances it out to a 3. So I think that's pretty solid. I like it. I did give him a 2 in relevance to today.
I did too.
Because it's so hard to relate to a guy living with gorillas in the jungle.
I gave him a 3, but I think you might be right.
Because
that's also just like circumstance. How would you even be that remote from anybody? Sorry, it's also just like what, Marissa?
Well, and I just like also thinking about the plot of the film in general, and like when it is set, the politics of the time, like Jane's relationship to everyone else. No, it's not. That's not going to translate to 2022.
Yep, I agree. But he doesn't get a 1 because he aged well. Like, I don't think there's any part of this movie that completely needs to never be seen again. Everything else is 4s and 5s for me.
I mean, let me just gas him up a little bit.
Okay,
I love that you see them fall in love. Particularly, you don't necessarily see him fall in love. So I'm not sure. Come to think of it, maybe that's on his side isn't a full 5, but you see her fall in love, which is really cool. Come to think of it,
you see them fall in love.
Well, in the
like him specifically, because she does a lot, which is really cute. I love that in the montage.
Yeah, in the montage, like he sees the dancing slide and then he starts to dance with her.
Yeah,
and then like at the end of it, he sees the flowers slide, and then he goes back to give her the flower. Like, I think that's a 5.
Still 5.
I don't think he knows it as the word love, but I think he falls in he falls in like a desire to be around her.
Absolutely. I just love seeing her fall in love.
Oh, it's her blush. Really my favorite part of that montage is at the very end where the vines are wrapping around each other and she blushes and he's like, what are you doing with your face? I'm like, oh, it's so cute. I love it so much.
Really cute.
Yep.
I also gave him a 5 for ego, not fragile. Because like, what ego?
What ego exists on this man? Doesn't know what it means. That's the benefit.
So I gave him a 5 for listens and acknowledges women.
I agree.
Yep.
I thought he was caring towards those important to Sweetheart too. I gave him a 5 for that.
I gave him a 4.
Dad's a little crazy.
I gave him a 4.
But I'm trying to remember what moments. I do think it's higher than a 3.
What moments does he give? Yeah, I agree. I think it's higher than a 3. Did I score? Was I too generous with?
I think he would, and I think he does care for him. But I think in the movie you don't see them together as much.
Okay.
Other than like casually being around each other and bringing them along to meet his family and stuff. But I think he would. I just don't think you see it as much.
What was your celebrate sweetheart's success moments? Because I gave it a 3. I don't really know if that was a NA or if that was just a.
Yeah, I gave it a 3 at first. I have one moment, and I'm
thinking of a moment now that I feel like it should be higher.
When he sees your examples, like when he sees her swinging by herself, there's like a joy from both of them in the montage. I think there's a couple different times where she shows her his. The parrot, and he loves it and brings her to, I don't know, that seems like a celebration when he brings her to see more things for her to draw, and there's like little moments like that. It's not exuberant.
I don't think it's a 5.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give him a 4.
I bumped him up to a 4.
He does not get, also what kills him is he does not get the Bechdel test.
He doesn't get the Bechdel test.
That's a 5-point thing. So the fact that it's close for me and he does not have the Bechdel test says something.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, now I do have a question.
Yes.
Because in the past we did not include non-human characters as female relationships. So talking about Tarzan, because Jane is the only female, do we not give him that +2, or do we give him that +2 because he's in a unique circumstance and his mother and his best friend?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter to me.
We're all sapiens. Does that matter?
We're all because I could see giving it to him because of his circumstance, and to them, like that's his family.
Yeah.
But I also could see not because it doesn't fit our mark. It does. So I'm not sure. It's up in the air.
I would tend to say yes, because he can communicate with them.
That's true.
Exactly the same way he actually more effectively than he can with humans.
Yeah.
Because of himself.
But it doesn't change who beats who for me. So
yeah, I gave him the +2. That mom relationship is so huge.
So adding the +2, which I will do.
Mine is the same distance.
Oh man,
as when I started. So
amazing.
Nothing
I feel like we both moved stuff around,
like,
but maybe it's evened out.
I have moved stuff around, but it's ended up all flattening out for me, which is why I'm really interested to see where you guys have them.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know which way you guys are. I agree with both at this point. So what are your guys' total scores for both of them?
So for Tarzan, since we are talking about that sweet man first, I have 77. As a total. And then for Shang, I have an 82.
I have an 82 for Shang as well.
Ooh.
It's the Bechdel test then.
Because I'm curious, are we all 82s on Shang?
I didn't give Mulan the Bechdel test.
Ooh.
We've had this debate.
We've had this debate and I've like looked it up.
Because that changes things a lot.
I know.
For me.
Yeah. That's truly the Bechdel test. Really swing stuff. 2 conversations that happen that don't involve men talking about them, and not one is the argument of are you doing your chores or not between mom and Mulan, and then there is an argument between mom and grandma about the cricket and how it's not real. And she, why are you bringing that? And she's like, watch, it's so lucky, and then almost killed herself in the street.
Yeah, the whole like 3 lines.
There's not much. There's not much.
It's got to be more than 2.
But,
yeah. If the Bechdel test is given to Shang and he is 5 points ahead of Tarzan for you, that's literally the difference.
It is.
That is so fascinating.
See if it is.
Is it 5 for you anymore?
For me, it's the Bechdel test.
I have Tarzan at 80. What do you have? Okay, go. You go.
What do you have, Marissa? Because what was your Shang? Now that
before the Bechdel test, Tarzan was at 83.
Okay.
And Shang was at 79. With the Bechdel test, Shang is at 84. So Shang beats Tarzan.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to come down to point things because Patreon
we have 2
and
Shangs.
things do not agree with us. So
yes. And what was yours?
My final is Tarzan at 80 and Shang at 82. So Tarzan gets a +3, which gives my final score at an 83 for Tarzan. and Shang gets a +1, which means they tie. So
Okay.
I still think Shang will push through, but
that is so tight.
So Marissa, what are your final scores with the pluses?
Just confirming, Shang is +1.
Yes.
Okay, that makes it an 85.
Great.
And then Tarzan is +3.
Yes.
Which makes it an 86.
The Tarzan has the +1.
So Shang wins by 1. Shang wins by 1.
1 point? Can I not do math?
Because if I have mine are tied, you're up by 3, and Tarzan is up by 2.
Oh, yes. By 2. I thought it was just by 1. I can't do math.
By 2. So Shang wins by +1 point.
Insane.
Wow.
With social media and Patreon wanted him to win, Tarzan to win. So
the public matters.
My goodness.
I'm glad you guys voted because then it became really fun. But that means Shang has to move on.
Holy crap.
I think that might be one of the closest. And funny enough, the last close one we had, this delicate, was Jane and Rapunzel.
It was Jane and Rapunzel.
Wow.
That's amazing.
But in that time, Jane, I think, won.
Jane went through. Yeah.
Jane went through.
Fascinating. Wow. Guys, I knew it was going to be tight.
Singular point.
I did not think it was going to be that tight by the end of this.
Oh my gosh. Truly.
Yep.
Truly the Bechdel test.
If the Bechdel test wasn't a factor, we wouldn't have had to do that.
Bechdel test, if we decided not to give female relationships, then it would have been way lower for Tarzan.
Yeah. It
would have been 6 lower.
Oh, that's so fascinating.
Because the 2 between.
Man, that cricket conversation becomes really important for this tournament.
Have you done your charts? Yes, I'm doing them right now. Yes. Obviously. No, you're not. You have the dog with you.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that means that Shang makes it into the final 4 by 1 point. Well done. 2 wonderful men. Both of the people that I wanted to win this are now out. So we're doing great. No! It's okay. They're great. These are great people. They all have earned their spot. But
to be fair, in my original sheet that I just filled out without actually doing the rubrics, I also had Tarzan winning this.
Yeah, I definitely did. So,
wow.
Wow.
Guys, that was so tight. I'm so sorry, patrons. Please don't hate me.
But you know what? They tried and it was still
incredibly tight.
Yeah,
they really did.
I don't think this next one is going to be so tight. So we're going to move to the right side of our bracket, and now we have Hercules and Prince Eric. So for Sweetheart on Hercules, let's talk about our Greek demigod. He ended up with a pretty good score. He ended up with a 34 Sweetheart for me.
Oh, he got a 36 for me. Did I score him way too? Was I really nice to?
I mean, how responsible did you say he was?
I gave him a 3.
I gave him a 4. Does he deserve lower? Probably. Yes. Oh my gosh, Marissa's giving me I'm already giving him a 3. Already lowering down to 3. Does he need a 2?
I gave him a 2 for self-awareness as well. So I gave him the Tarzan.
I did give him a 2 for self-awareness. Correct.
Yes. His whole body and his wholeness just not quite aware.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Self-awareness, I also gave him a 2. Yeah. Really, where he went for me is it was 5s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the singular 3 and 2 for me. So was that too generous to give him quite so many 5s for our sweet hippo?
I gave him too much. Mostly 4s.
Ooh, okay. Nice. I had 1 4. So I mean, let's honest moral integrity for me. I don't know that he knows how to lie or do anything.
I gave him a 5 because he's just unabashedly himself. Does he realize that he's an open book? I do not think so, but that's also a self-awareness issue.
Yeah, that's
and not an honesty issue.
What did you guys put for loving? Because I gave him a 5, but I don't know.
I gave him a 5 too.
I gave him a 5.
Okay. So I was on the track.
That's the whole reason he got into Olympus.
Yeah. I mean, then he sacrifices his life for
immortal and sacrificed himself for her.
Yeah. I gave him a 5 for selfless for the diving into the pool of souls.
Same.
For purely saving her, He
also does that a lot. Some of it is because do I believe that he is doing all of this stuff and saving people because he wants the honor? No, he just wants to go live. He just wants to see his dad is really the end goal. And I don't see that as being selfish would be more of what Phil,
like
Phil
for the glory.
I think is a little more, that's what
yeah.
Phil's doing it for. Hercules is like, oh, these are the steps to meet my dad. Awesome.
Step one. I mean? Yep. Where did some of the 4s land for you, Marissa?
Respectful. His initial meeting with Meg is too like cone eyes for me.
Gaga eyes, you know?
Yeah.
He did get that -5 later for that.
The love at first sight. Yeah. A -2. Yeah.
Generous with time. I don't really know why I said 4.
I gave him a 4 too. I'm with you on that. I
gave him a 5. Did I score him incredibly too high?
I don't know that it deserves a 5, but I don't really know why.
He doesn't really give, like, you don't see him give his time, like, I'm choosing to give up my time to do something, as much as like his goal is
outside
just to
of, like,
constantly help
out to be with her.
Yeah.
They have that like one day, but he's like basically just trying to avoid all of his responsibilities. Like I feel like
true though.
I feel like it would be a 5 if she was asking to spend that time with him. Like she doesn't begrudge the time.
Yeah.
But it's not, you don't have time for me, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
right.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like they have time and they are together. But is it generous? I don't know.
That's I
could
start questioning myself because I originally gave him a 5 and I'm like, but when I don't know, and he doesn't have any belongings to give, so like that's out of the. I don't. We don't get to see any of that. I think he would. I think he'd be like, here, take all this stuff, but he doesn't really get.
I mean, he does
do
by the end. He has tons of stuff when he she initially like. Is like, hey, let's blow this popsicle.
He's like
stand.
in like the palace or whatever. Is that like his? I actually don't know where they are. In that
I have
moment.
no idea. He's like getting painted with scar on the floor.
Yeah. No, on his head.
Oh yes, correct. You're totally right.
On the floor. Yep.
Yeah. So is that a 4 or is that all the way down to a 3? I don't think it's less than average.
No, I definitely don't think. I mean, he's still giving up his time to not do things for himself, but he also wants to be doing those things, like heroic things.
Right.
So I think the goodness of how he spends his time is why I gave him a 4, like the good things he does with it. But I could be convinced otherwise if we need to get down to like nitty gritty things.
Oh, I had a 5, so I knocked him down just to a 4.
Yeah, I got a 4 on him.
That I wasn't.
I'm okay keeping it a 4. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, cool.
That does. I am now much more in line with the rest of your scores at a 33.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at 30. Yeah, I'm at 33 now. So that's where I'm at. I'm real curious where you guys went for Hercules supportive.
Okay, then let's jump to that.
Let's jump to Hercules supportive, and then we'll move on to Eric. I gave him Hercules a 2 for relevance to today. The demigod and like super strength thing for me was really hard to connect to.
Yeah.
But it didn't age like unwell. I guess it's a horrible way to say that.
And maybe I was too nice. I gave him a 4 for that. What did you give him, Marissa?
I gave him a 3, but I think that was more for the movie in general. Like I think most of that was for Meg.
Yes. Phil, we will not talk about.
Phil.
And that is why I gave Hercules a 2 for calls out sexism.
Okay. I had an NA, but you are 1,000% correct.
Yeah,
I agree. It's there. You're right. Many times.
Yep.
You're so right.
He doesn't understand it, but he still does not call it out. Maybe he does. We don't.
It doesn't matter that. How would he not understand him being like Phil is so creepy. Inappropriate,
it's so
like
creepy.
Really creepy.
Like from the moment they meet.
Like and Hercules isn't even jealous at any point.
No,
which is still not a great trait, but doesn't even acknowledge in any form how he's treating her. Okay, okay, Marissa, you right.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Right. Okay, calls out sexism. That is a well-deserved 2. The only NA I gave him was caring towards those important to sweetheart because who does she know?
Right. Like
which is not her fault. Yeah. She's been alive for how long at this point?
Who knows? No, there was no time.
No one knows.
we don't understand time or anything.
Family, what is that? Who knows? Family's not even mentioned. Like just the ex-boyfriend. So
I gave him another 2.
Ooh, where was his other 2?
Listens and acknowledges women.
Oh, okay. I gave him a 4. Do we meet in the middle? Tell me.
Yeah, yes.
His entire first meeting with Meg is him ignoring everything she has to say. I'm a damsel. I'm in distress. I can handle it. And then he goes on to try and handle it poorly the whole time. Like,
yeah, he does make the comments of like, I don't think you understand like the situation or something. There's some line after that of
but
like,
he doesn't understand the situation. Like, she was sent there to have a conversation with this guy. And Hercules is not listening to her and does not know the situation at all.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
and is
it's
not
okay.
listening to her.
I can handle this. And she's like, really, I would prefer if you didn't.
Please don't. You will make it worse.
Yeah. So how much does he listen, and how many women does he listen to? Does
he listen to I mean, we don't get any conversations with his mom directly talking to him because he does have a positive relationship with his mom.
Do they?
But they don't really. She tells him
it's time to tell him.
Yeah, that's really all that happens.
And it's with Dad.
Yeah.
And he doesn't talk to Hera.
No.
At all. Oh my gosh. Is it just a 3? Do I need to knock it down?
I bumped it down to a 3. And now I'm questioning, because I had it at a 4, but now I'm questioning the agency to Sweetheart and the give space. Like, is that a 3? Okay. Yeah, I had it at a 4, but.
Yeah, I gave him a 4, but only because I have a lot of negative feelings about that specific scene.
Yes,
but once
fair.
it gets
Understandable.
past that moment,
yeah,
he lets her do her thing.
Like, she has full control. Like, doesn't try to take over for her or tell her how to do things anymore.
No.
Yeah. I did give him a 5 for does not exist solely to be the love interest, because his whole journey is not about. I mean, that relationship is a crucial part of it, but it's him becoming a god.
Yeah, I gave him a 4. Because she's the only reason that he becomes a god.
But does that make her the love? Like, she is built to solely be the object, love interest.
Very true. Very true.
I understand what you're saying. I think that's what I.
No, I think I can do that.
Did he get any other 5s for you guys?
I gave him emotionally available, but I don't know if he understands what it means.
I think he's
also okay
4.
I gave him a 5 too, and I'm just like, I feel like you could tell him anything. Like, he's not closed off. But he doesn't particularly show that he is open. It just, he doesn't ever prove that he is closed.
Yeah. But a 4 I could see, because he's definitely.
I just feel like
for her.
It's not his main focus.
Yes,
he's like preoccupied with other things. So it's not a 5, but it's not like it deserves demotion.
Yeah, he's not closed off. Yeah, he's not like stoic by any means.
Oh my gosh, no.
No,
absolutely not. And the other 5 is I gave him a 5 for pass the Bechdel test because of the 2 women talking over.
I looked back.
Plates.
I looked back at our old sheets. We did not pass the Bechdel test.
Okay.
I looked back at the old sheet because the 2 women are talking in a group, not to each other.
Oh,
so it was very
specific.
specific.
Do they have names?
Oh, you're so right.
A couple of them
The Muses only talk about Hercules, which is their job. We love that for them. That is not their fault. Okay, yeah.
I don't think it passes.
I think we did not give it to Meg in our last one.
Then no, he does not deserve it.
I double checked that. This may be a tighter race than I thought, guys.
Yeah.
He does have the -2 for love at first sight.
Oh, for sure. But was anyone surprised by that? No. Like, to be honest, was anyone surprised by the Goo Goo guys? And very few, and Marissa, maybe you think entirely differently, but I feel like very few characters can pull that off and still be likable in the end. And Hercules is incredibly Goo Goo Gaga over her, like annoyingly so in that scene. Still, by the end of the movie, you're like, no, but he's a good guy. He's just a very young dope.
I think that part of it is that it's the way the scene is structured in general. So it's not even just from his perspective. It's from the audience's perspective too.
Yes.
And then you also have Phil on top of it with the extra creepo factor. Yeah, Phil that you're like, oh, really Hercules is normal.
Yeah, that's true. It makes him look real good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is one of the movies with a lot of people have unique relationships, but this is kind of a unique love interest is betraying and lying to you the entire time, whereas in other movies they're like building either a friendship or like some like connecting together rather than anything being based on a lie. So I feel like that also has to factor into his storytelling But let's talk a little bit about Prince Eric before we get our final scores. So what was your guys' sweetheart score for Eric?
He did well for sweetheart. He did not do well for supportive.
Okay. Tell me. What was your sweetheart score?
He got a 37 for sweetheart, which might be a little too nice.
Yeah, I may have been too harsh on him because on the other flips, he still did well. I said that anything around a 30 and up was like a good guy.
Yeah.
And he got a 29.
He got a 29 for me as well.
Okay, so maybe how do we meet in the middle? Where he got nothing lower than a 3 for me.
He got 2 2s for me.
So I gave him more 4s. He got no 5s for me. Did anyone give him a 5?
Oh, I gave him probably too many 5s.
Okay, where were the 5s?
Yes.
Since there's only there's not as many of those. Where were the 5s?
I gave him a 5 for moral integrity, which I'm regretting.
Oh, really?
I gave him a 5.
I gave him a 5.
I don't know. There's part of me that's like, the whole Vanessa thing, but then it's like, but he was possessed.
He was possessed. Yeah,
he was,
Yeah. He doesn't lie at any time.
Yeah.
You know, like
he's very open and honest, especially with Grimsby. When he's like,
"That's
are you gonna do things?" And it's not like he talks down to him. He's just like, I have fully intention to marry, but I really want to just choose.
Yeah.
Appreciate your concern.
Yeah.
You know, and even when he politely, how he dodges that, oh, what a nice gift.
The statue.
Yeah.
I think he handled it well. So is that a 4 or is that a 5 of honest moral integrity? Because I think you're right, Marissa. I think you can't really hold it against him if he is actively being cursed.
Yeah.
And it's okay with it staying a 5.
Feel pretty solid on my 5 for that.
I am bumping him up.
I also gave him 5s for kind and empathetic and respectful.
I gave him 4s for both.
I gave him 4s for that too. And I'm trying to think. He's very nice, but I don't ever see him have a moment of trying to understand. I don't know. I guess he does try to like reach out. He spends an entire day with her without getting to talk to her. So is there like an innate empathy in that?
Wait the entire day to ask her name, which cracks me up.
That is true.
But that also very much aligns with it just cracks me up because these two people who like fall in love in 3 days and get married, I could not believe more that they will be together forever, which is so funny. These two wildly crazy people. Like
definitely.
For that reason, I gave him a 5 for generous with their belongings and time.
I gave him a 5 too.
Opens the whole
his entire house
palace for this girl and it's like, let me row a boat through this lagoon singing creatures.
Yes, I agree. That was my other 5 for him, is he completely gives up his entire place, clothes, all of that.
I think maybe kind and respectful might be too high, but I don't really have specific examples of why they shouldn't be 5s.
Yeah, and I have the same qualm with the reverse of that, where I can't think of reasons that push him to a 5, but he's at a 4 for me.
I'm gonna make them 4s just because I feel like he doesn't go out of his way in those regards.
Yeah.
So
he does deserve the 4.
Yeah.
Or 5, you know.
Yeah.
Like, especially respectful. I think
he has
1 4 or 5.
He has one specific moment.
I mean, he finds a girl half naked at a beach and not once does he give her a creepy look up down.
Yeah.
Like not a single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil could never.
Well, that brought him down to a 29 with you guys.
Ooh.
So
and I am up to
it didn't.
I'm up to 31.
I'm a liar. I'm
so 31. Okay. So we're finding ourselves in like that cusp of 30 feeling. Okay. He still has 2 2s for me.
Okay. So what were the 2 2s? I forgot.
I have a 2 for responsible.
Okay.
I feel like he actively is like not doing responsible things constantly. As far as like what his position, like he's not like. I mean, he's going off and sailing.
Tells him to do that he's not supposed to.
I don't know.
Which is why I only gave him a 3.
Okay.
I can't see him not doing things, and he does respect Grimsby when he's like, "You gotta marry somebody," and there's a girl right here, and he literally throws his flute into the ocean and goes, "I guess I gotta do this."
That's true. Okay, I come up to a 3, but I don't think more than a 3 because he does hand over the reins.
Yes, of a moving carriage. To a girl he doesn't know the name of and can barely walk. Yes.
So
I gave him a 3 too.
Okay.
3.
My other 2 was, this might be too harsh too, would be a self-awareness.
Oh, I gave him only a 3 for that too.
I gave him a 4, which
Okay. I was too harsh.
The Little Mermaid's also a weird thing where it's like, it's this wishy-washy, like, who is running the country that is never addressed. Like, where are his parents? Never addressed. Like, a lot of things that are not his fault. Just glossed over. What time period is this? We don't know.
No one knows.
No idea. What are the waistlines? Who can tell you?
I'm at a 32 then. I'm bumped up to a 32.
Yeah. 31.
35.
Okay.
That's okay.
He doesn't do great in supportive though. So
let's talk about supportive. What are all your lows? What are the lows for supportive?
He got quite a few NAs, which I don't know as the secondary character, and he's not in quite as much of the movie. I don't know if that's necessarily his fault, but I did notice that there was a lot of NAs. And then the two lowest scores for me were a 1. He got a 1 and a 2.
He got a 1 for me too.
He got a 1 for me.
Where?
Which one? Okay. Where did he get the 1? Do we say it at the same time, or is it going to be wild because it's words and not numbers?
I think we all understand what it is.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Does not exist.
Love interest.
That is his role. I love that we have someone who is that in a movie.
Yes. That is the whole point of this movie.
And that is fine for him. That is fine. That is,
And he does it well.
He does it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Who did not see the dark hair and the bright blue eyes sailing off the sea with his dog?
Oh, the dog gets me. That's where.
Yeah. His best friend, the dog. And you're like, okay, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
I see the appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a lot of 3s. Like, he has 1 5. He has an ego not fragile was a 5 for me.
I gave him a 5 for that too.
Yeah.
There's
that was
the statue moment.
That was my only 5.
Yeah, that's the only 5 for me too. The statue moment feels very
statue moment is very endearing.
Don't give me, please, don't do that to me.
Yeah. I did give him a 2 for relationship grows / see them fall in love.
I gave him a 3, but I agree.
You don't.
I agree.
You don't.
I agree.
You don't. I wrote in there 3 days, and the other caveat of those 3 days that he gets to know her. One of them, he is under a spell, and he spends all 3 days totally enjoying her company. That is not to be denied.
But he's not falling in love with her.
No, because he's in love with the voice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
I totally agree. Yeah. So I
agree.
gave him a 2.
I bumped it down. I agree. I was at a 3, so not far to fall.
Yeah. Not far. No.
Yeah. Listen to acknowledges women. I don't think he's ever given a chance to do that. Cause
I'm like,
no.
Who does he talk to? He talks to no women.
He does listen to Ariel and thinks that she's very endearing, even when she does ridiculous things at dinner.
Yeah.
Lets her take the reins and stuff. But I just gave him a 3. Does that?
That's where I'm
because like you said, he doesn't get opportunities. He gives her a lot of leeway.
Yeah, he gives her I think he gives her like agency to like make decisions and stuff. Like I gave him a 4 for that.
Same.
But he doesn't have a lot of a chance to actually listen to anyone because he's he's listening to Vanessa, he's spelled, so it doesn't
exactly
count.
And the agency thing too, I also gave him a 4 because another thing, he doesn't prevent her from trying to save her father. He instead helps her. And yes, he's like, I just found you. Like, I can't lose you.
Yeah.
But it's not in a, let me do this for you. It's in a, I got this with you sort of way, which I liked.
Yeah. What a line. I'm not going to lose her again. And diving into the
ocean
magic
against sea monster. I mean, wow.
A giant.
Giant. I mean, magic. He is so lucky he is just a decent swimmer, or he would have been immediately dead.
Here, let me go underwater and throw stuff at a magic it's a whole
crazy, crazy dedication. There, guys, it's there. What were your NAs? I'd be very interested because he got 3 for me.
I gave him an NA for calls out sexism and listens and acknowledges women.
I agree.
I could see that too.
Yeah, those are 3s for me. Admits fault.
And then I gave him, I gave him just a general 3 for caring towards those important to Sweetheart.
I agree.
Yeah, I couldn't decide if that was NA or a 3, but either way, it's a 3.
Yeah.
The thing that sticks out in my brain is him sitting at the dinner table about to eat Sebastian.
In his defense, he doesn't know that Sebastian.
I know, but it's just like
still.
Yep. That's fair. I think a 3 is earned in that moment.
Yes. And he helps save Trin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He does get the Bechdel test for the movie.
I don't think so.
That's why I'm like starting to second guess everything now. Oh, we talked about Ariel and Ursula because they do have a conversation.
It's her about becoming human.
She mentions Eric.
The maid talks to Ariel about having been washed up on a shipwreck, even though Ariel doesn't have
Colette. Yeah.
Or Carlotta. Sorry, Carlotta.
Oh, Carlotta. Yeah. We do get that one.
Ariel cannot speak at that point, but she is expressive during the scene. A few minutes later, she escorts Ariel to the dining room and tells her to not be shy.
Like, we're talking cricket 3 lines again for this.
Yeah.
I remember
there's a lot of things about the overall conversation with Ursula is kind of mixed because it's to get a prince, but also from the get-go before she knew Eric existed, she wanted to be human. I guess it's wishy-washy because of especially the not being able to speak. So what do we all unanimously would we like to give it to him or not?
I think if we gave it to Shang, which was the defining factor of that we have to give it to Eric.
Fair. Yes.
Okay.
It's
barely, I don't feel great about it.
That's fair. I don't feel great about Shang's either. Like it's barely there.
At least two people physically talk to each other, as opposed to this where she does not speak to Carlotta because she can't, which is not her fault.
He does get I got the -2 on the only aspiration was to marry the sweetheart because his whole goal the entire movie is to marry her.
I did not give him love at first sight, but if love at first voice, love at first hear, love at first heard, love at first song, I don't know, then yes, he would have gotten a negative on that. But I don't know if that counts for love at first sight.
I go back and forth on that one
because of the voice.
Yeah. What do you think?
I gave it to him because as a negative, because for Ariel, it's love at first sight. And if he had seen the voice and the face at the same time, then it would have been.
Yeah.
Yes. Because true, once he sees that it's her, he's like, oh, that's it.
Instant. Yeah. So like sight is like maybe the idea of instant love. Yeah. So like it is first voice love.
Yeah.
Okay.
The moment he knows she exists, regardless of if he sees her face.
Yes.
Okay. So my final scores for Hercules, he got a 69.
Oh.
And my final score for Prince Eric was 65.
My Hercules final score was 70.
Okay. Great.
1 point different from you. Eric was a 63.
My final score for Hercules is a 71.
Oh, great. So we're all right in that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hercules seems to be very solid.
Yeah.
My final score for Eric is a 71.
Beautiful.
Because of
the Bechdel test. Yep. That's awesome. I love that. I will say Patreon gave 2 points to Hercules, 1 point to Eric, and social media gave Hercules their point. So we have a +3 to Hercules and a +1 to Eric, which puts Hercules at 6 points higher for me. So it's a decent stretch.
Mine, they're already 7 apart.
Yeah.
So
I love it. It was closer than I thought, though. I really came in here going like, oh, it's going to be.
I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed with Hercules.
Both these scores,
just because you think of the idea of him, like the idea of him as like the Disney himbo next to Kronk. I'm so sorry, Kronk.
Yes,
but like totally thought that Hercules would do better, and I'm kind of disappointed.
I am too.
We've
been having some decent scores, like right on the cusp of 80 for like everything, and this one is just like down 10 points.
And it feels sad.
It does, but it could just be the writing. This is no judgment on these people.
No.
On these characters. But alas, we do have to crown this most supportive sweetheart. So we have one more to go on our bracket. We have a very odd pair, but I'm actually very excited about this. We have Milo Thatch and Kristoff. So to start off on sweetheart, how did Milo shake out for you guys on your sweetheart scores?
I gave Milo a 35.
Oh, wow. I gave him a 27. I
got a 27 too. Okay.
I was really nice. I have to, this is my confession.
Yes. What is it?
Oh, I have never seen Atlantis. I watched it for this and I loved it.
Okay, good.
Right? It is so
good.
It's so incredibly underrated.
I think I'm clouded by like fresh watch.
No, it's good.
Amazing.
He is like guy. And oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm so glad you've seen it because it is so incredibly underrated and is so exciting and fun. And yes, I'm so glad.
It was a weird time for Disney movies, like in general.
Yes.
And I was a little bit too young.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because this is definitely, they intended it to be an action movie.
Yes. Actively.
And
when
you are like,
it's a good action movie.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
and all the representation. Like, there's so much.
Yeah. We gush about it in a full episode.
Yes, we do.
First season. But I had a question about Milo because I ended up with a 27 as well. But I'm debating on loving because last time we chatted about Milo, we ended up with the 2 on it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about like how there are different versions of love. And I don't know if like, and this might not be love, this might be more in the support column. Their version of love in this seems to be like a molding of the minds. Like you do see them connect. It's not necessarily as physical, but if I gave him a 2, I don't see
her fall in love with him at all. Like I see her respect him, and you see him in, I think, a more respectable version of Hercules's Gaga eyes.
That's true. That's true.
Because at that point she is already almost naked, and then she is getting more naked, and he doesn't know what to do with himself, which I think is a very understandable time for him.
Yeah. I gave him a 4
for loving.
Yes, but not really for their relationship. It was more for like the love he has for Atlantis in general, and like the language and like preserving her culture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I gave him a 4.
I think I'm bumping him up too because I started questioning. I'm like, I know there's the dirt. I feel like his version of what love is different than pretty much any other guy.
And it is against them because they purposely made this not a love story.
Like the writing is actively working against us.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. I did give him another 2.
Is it self-aware? Because he deserves it.
And
not a bad way. Not a bad way. In a very
I'm gonna drop that down.
Yeah. What did you give him for self-aware?
I gave him a 4, which I don't know why I thought that like 1 point deduction was enough.
For the boy, for the fixing the engine scene or whatever.
Oh my gosh. He's so funny. And honestly, sometimes when you knock them down for self-aware, it's not a bad thing.
There's a lot of them that have been knocked down today for self-aware. We got a lot of low self-awareness. The only 5 I gave him was an honest moral integrity.
Ooh, I gave him 5s for that and kind empathetic.
Ooh, okay.
I did too.
I can see him bumped up for that.
I like how he treats everybody and how he views everyone when they walk through the city. Like, it's not just Keita because she's pretty. You know what I mean? Like, he's already interested how he is with everybody. And he does respect everybody's jobs and talks to them. He's just so awkward. Like, when he's given the chance, when they reach out to him and are like, okay, come sit with us.
Yeah.
He's like nothing but kind. He just does not know how to human.
That's true.
Which is why he gets a 2.
Marissa, what did you give him for respectful?
I gave him a 4.
Okay.
More for like everyone. Rather than just his relationship with Keita. I think most of my issue with his relationship with Keita is her outfit.
That's fair.
Yeah. More than how he actually treats her.
Right. Yeah.
So I tried to ignore that as much as
possible. Yeah. That's fair. I was thinking about bumping respectful up to a 5 purely for the fact that when he is given the chance to like be at the power core of Atlantis, he forces other people to be respectful of not like, don't touch her. I think partially for her safety, but there's also like something about the culture itself that he respects. I don't know if that's a 5, but like I started feeling about
deserves a 4.
For sure. Yeah, that bumps me up to around a 29. I think.
Still at a 34, but
did you have more 5s? Like, were there any more 5s
what
for
were
you?
5?
Oh, the other 5 was selfless.
I gave him a 3, but tell me why? Because maybe we overanalyzed it. I just couldn't find a time that he sacrificed himself in a way to benefit others. So what were your reasons to give him selfless? Because maybe I am being too like heroic.
I guess I sort of viewed him staying as selfless, but now I'm thinking that might not be a selfless act because I don't know, like he chose to stay to like use his knowledge of the language to like help the people.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like it was his goal to find Atlantis
right
to begin with. So I don't.
And what is he leaving behind?
Right.
That's what we started overanalyzing this.
Right. He's not really in it for the bragging rights or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Like he's not.
And
it's never really a question that he's not going to stay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So is that more of did he not get a full opportunity to give us these options? Because like he definitely calls out things and he calls out people for
doing the wrong thing.
Doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But does he do anything truly selfless?
I don't know. Yeah. That's what I was back and forth with 3 and 4 on that one. Because I think he would do it.
I don't think it's a 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Drop it down to a 4.
I agree.
Right now I'm at a 33.
Okay.
It's a little closer.
Right. Yeah, we're right. Mm-hmm. We're finding our balance there. How did after I'm really curious after freshly watching it first time impressions, how is he on supportive for you? Like what were his was there anything below a 3? Were there a whole bunch of 5s? How is he for you?
There's nothing below a 3, but there's a lot of 3s.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder if we even out because I have a singular 2, but I have significantly more 5s, I think, than you.
I gave him 4 5s.
Okay, where'd you put those guys?
Admits fault. I gave him a 5.
Okay, I gave him a 4.
Because I don't know. I feel like he really beats himself up about leading everybody down there.
That's
he
true.
Totally does.
I feel like he punishes himself enough that it deserves a 5. Regardless of if he actually admits that much fault.
Yeah.
And then I gave him a 5 for not existing solely as the love interest because that's
for sure.
not the point of the movie.
Yeah. I agree.
And then ego not fragile.
Yeah.
I gave him a 5.
And this is like the opposite of like other men that we've talked about that have gotten 5, which I think is so funny because the other men are just like himbo-y. Unself-aware where they're
like
just
they should have an ego but they don't.
Yeah,
right.
Milo is like nowhere near having an ego.
Never given one. Yeah.
And then
I do like
the last 5 I gave him was carrying towards those important to Sweetheart because he's just the second he gets to Atlantis he's completely dedicated to Atlantis.
Oh yes,
I could see that.
And like he cares for her father and like all of that.
I gave him a 5 for listens and acknowledges women because of Audrey and how he treats like all the women on this trip. He is constantly like listening to like orders from them and he has a lot of good conversations with Audrey about different things. So I feel like he had enough different ones. Maybe it's a 4, but I ended up giving him a 5 for that.
It was nice that he was able to have multiple women speak to him.
Yes.
Especially when you think of all of the men we've talked about today.
Milo has an ensemble
has 4
women
that he speaks with.
I love that.
And 3 of them have zero interest in him.
Yes.
Romantic.
Yes. I love that for him. The friendship with Milo and Audrey is just so great. I adore that friendship along the way.
Does he call it sexism? I gave it an NA. I don't know if that super comes up.
There's not a lot of sexism in like women are in leadership positions. Like it's
right.
It does pass the Bechdel test.
Yes,
barely.
Barely. We squeaked it by because of the gossip between the and her friend that she has constant conversations with while they're in the boat in the sub.
Yeah.
Heavy gossip.
Yeah. And I gave the positive female relationships for the friendship with Audrey, and then love at first sight. He got the negative, so it bounces itself out for me. For the like mask lift up moment, you know, like and where he sees her. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like an instant connection for him, right? For me,
yeah. They didn't really have much time for romance.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It is most of the movie is traveling to Atlantis as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the journey is the big part of it.
Still so cool.
Which is impressive if it's not a love story. It's like an anti-trying to be a love story from the creation of this. He
still scores pretty well. He scores very well.
Compared to other ones that clearly have love plots put into them.
Yes.
So,
for sure.
That's pretty well done.
Good job, Milo.
For Kristoff. So this is first movie Kristoff, which is really hard to balance. It's really hard to balance.
Funny. It is hard to balance. And I feel like this is so funny because from Kristoff's point of view, this is also not a love story.
No. I think I was too nice, but I want to acknowledge off the bat, I am very biased towards Kristoff.
That's fair. That's fair.
I know that about myself.
That's great.
And I embrace that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to apologize.
Don't apologize.
I will say for you, I will say he did not score badly.
No.
He still
did not.
scored well.
Okay.
Overall for me.
What was the sweetheart score for you guys?
This one was funny because it's just so funny to me with doing the sweetheart specifically because Kristoff is such I pretend desperately that I'm not a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
But is in fact a Hufflepuff.
Yep,
So,
that's true.
Yes.
It's
so
true.
I had to sometimes remember, okay, he is putting up this hard shell exterior that is not real. So like you have to sometimes ignore some of those things because like you talk to him for 4 seconds and you're like, yes, no, you are a teddy bear. You are just pretending to not be. The overall, I gave him a 27 for sweetheart.
He had a 28 for me.
Guys, I gave him a 36.
Hey, that's okay. Let's get there.
I love that. Okay.
Did anybody score? I gave him 1, 2. Did anyone?
I gave him a 2 as well.
I gave him a 3.
Okay.
I gave him a 2.
Self-awareness?
Because I gave him a 2 as well for that. And maybe that was too harsh. Maybe he's more put together than some of the people exist.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's at like Eric or like Hercules or Tarzan level 2. So maybe that's too harsh. Maybe that is a 3.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Come to think of it, speaking of like literally what I just said, I think he is aware that he is putting on a front. So yes, I
gave him a 5 for self-awareness, but I think that's too high because he gets there. Like, he's very sure of himself in Fixer Upper.
He is,
but at the same time, he is consumed by the situation that he doesn't actually acknowledge what's happening. He's just like, why are you talking about my back hair?
Yeah, that's true.
I do not.
So he's aware of himself, but he's not aware of the situation. So I don't know how that shakes out.
Ooh, that's also true for his love for Anna, because I don't think he realizes that he's fallen for her because it is such a slow.
Yes. Like, I mean, he realizes it halfway down the fjord.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
And Olaf is like, you love her. And he's like, what?
Yeah. So maybe that's where my self-awareness like took a tank of like actively being like, do you not get this? But like,
and is that self-aware or is that him in that particular moment of not realizing he's in love with Anna? Is that self-awareness or is that him being like, she is off limits? She is engaged.
Which is respectful.
Yes.
So, okay. I can bump his self-awareness up. I can see that.
I brought him down to a 4.
Okay.
Let's all be 4s.
Let's all come together. I'm at a 30 now, so we're getting there.
I have a 5 in honest moral integrity.
Yeah.
Oh, what was your 3?
Yeah. Generous with his belongings and time. He does not want to help her when he meets her.
Yep. But he still does. Hence the 3.
He gets there.
Yeah.
Which she has to really try.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. I agree with that 3 wholeheartedly.
Yes. Anyway,
I gave him a 4 for honest moral integrity.
Oh,
because he was willing to leave her. Like he was prepared to not help her. And that's like, where are those morals shaking out?
Right. I feel like I also thought the same thing where I'm like, oh yeah, he was ready to leave her like a couple times where he's like, okay, I'll just be done with her. But then immediately after almost every one of those moments of me questioning him, he has a fake conversation with the reindeer.
Yeah.
And the reindeer's like, you can't.
That's
so it's
true.
Like, did he really
I guess
want to fully not help her?
His moral compass
to talk him into it.
But that's why I
don't know.
I gave him a 4 for kind empathetic because
I did give him a 4
that initial interaction is like, I don't want to talk to you guys.
Yeah,
give me my carrots.
Wall he puts up.
Yeah.
Which is why he gets knocked down a point because he's like, I'm this big. No, I'm gruff.
Yeah.
Like,
this I think is going to be controversial. I gave him a 5 for responsible.
I gave him a 3.
You say that, and now that you say that, I feel like that makes sense. So explain your 5.
He takes charge of like the situation.
He does.
Like
multiple times.
He gets away from the wolves. He like helps Anna climb the mountain when she is like, I can do it. Like she can't do it, but he's like, this is what you need to do. He knows to take her to the trolls
as well. Wasn't it his idea?
He's like, you need to get back to like he's on top of it.
Yeah.
And he also once he realizes what this is about. One of his first comments is like, this is my job. Like, this is my responsibility. We need to fix this. So I could see, I think the 3 was too low for him.
I agree with that. I can bump that up.
He also,
when is he not responsible too?
I don't
what does
know.
he do that's irresponsible?
The thing, honestly, that like tips it over to a 5 for me is weirdly him wanting to tell Olaf that he's going to melt in summer. He's like trying to be practical about the situation. He's like, listen, I understand you're really into summer, but like, you're not going to make it, dude.
That's fair. That's very honest.
Very true. That is very honest.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, he's up to a 30 now for me.
Yeah, 31.
Just moving that stuff around.
Yeah.
And I think those are all really, really valid points. India, what were your lowest scores for him?
My lowest were generous with belongings. It was 3. And then the selfless, I put 3. Helping her out, she is going to pay him. So it's not an act of selflessness. So I kind of even that out to like a 3. Like I do think he ends up like running to save the day and all of that. But he ended up at kind of a 3 at that. So those are the only 2 3s. Then I have almost all 4s and then 1 5. So I'm very much in the 4 world for him. On that cusp of things. And then for supportive for him, he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3s. And maybe that's too harsh, but
he only got 4 3s for me. 2 of them were NAs.
Okay, yeah. I agree with that.
What did you? How many low stuff? Great. What were your low scores, Marissa?
I gave him 2 3s and a 2.
Ooh, where was your 2?
So that kind of evens out.
Okay. I listened to last week's episode and I know you feel differently about this. But I gave him a 2 for does not exist to solely be the love interest.
Oh
yeah, you talked me up, I think.
I talked you up because I thought it was a 5 because Hans is designed to be the love interest.
Yeah, narratively, but he's not actually.
Very true.
Like,
very true.
They end up together and like Anna's arc is not falling in love with her sister. It's falling in love with Kristoff. Even if that's
she's already in love with her sister.
Like that's not what the true love of the climax is, but it is her arc in the story.
You are
so that is kind of his role.
You know, I'm knocking that down to a 3.
Yep. Yeah, I'm putting mine back to a 3.
So sorry. I led you all astray.
But no, it's hard because like
it's a valid point.
Yeah, it's hard to like battle through like what his role. He has multiple roles in it, which is kind of cool. But
he does. That is very interesting about him.
I also gave him a 3 for emotionally available.
I agree.
Ooh, I gave him a 4, but I think you're more right.
I don't know if it's so much that he's not emotionally available or if it's that he's genuinely respecting that she's already engaged with someone else.
I think a 3 is a better choice for that.
Yeah.
But there are a couple 5s. So let's just do I don't think he calls out sexism.
Yeah.
No, I gave him
because there's yeah. I also admits fault, but I don't think he does anything
wrong
other than being a little curmudgeonly at the beginning.
I was like, I don't know why.
He totally would admit it. It just, he's not wrong about anything.
Yeah, I don't know. That should be a 3.
That could also be later things because I feel like there's a lot of moments of like him comforting Anna because of Elsa. So I could see that maybe.
I don't know.
Not in this movie.
No.
On a positive note, I feel like give space agency to Sweetheart. The amount of times he just like lets Anna do her thing before he's like, okay, and now we were doing it the right way.
Big 5. Big 5. I think
Big 5.
I think the relationship grows. Like even if it's just in their like friendship or in their bond, I gave him a 5 for seeing it grow.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ego not fragile. I don't think he has an ego. Like it never really comes up.
That's similar to the other more himbo-y
category.
Yeah.
And relevance for the day. What did you guys put for that? Because I gave him a 5 in not the situation because magic and things. But
I gave him a 4.
Okay.
And maybe that's too low. Maybe a 5 is where did you give him, Marissa?
I gave him a 5, but I think that might be me projecting Frozen 2
Frozen. Oh my gosh, yes.
He's genuinely the ideal man in Frozen 2. I don't know if he's 100% the ideal man in Frozen 1.
I thought
so
4 though.
Maybe it should be a 4.
I think he's like very solid, very above average. The situation is a good example. Weirder.
Yeah. And they passed the Bechdel test, obviously. Like that. Flying colors. For that. And I don't have love at first sight. He doesn't have any other. Well, would his parent relationship be positive? They kind of tear him down the entire time. So I didn't give him the +2 for other female relationships.
I don't really think if they're the same as like Hercules. Like
okay.
And the main interaction is Poppy.
That's true.
Pappy. Yeah. Not mom. There's no mom.
Her name.
I don't even. Is there a mom or is it just?
There is.
Yeah.
Okay. I think.
Yeah, because she's like hugs her boy. She's like, my boys are like, you're coming home with me or whatever at the begining. There's a very specific one.
I couldn't tell if that was like he was raised by them as a group.
That's true. Yeah. I think it might be time to reveal our scores, guys.
Yeah.
So,
and I just have to throw it out there. Other positive female relationships, he did not get it because it's the first movie. Second movie, he has a very good relationship with Elsa.
Yes, he does. Super tight for me.
It's been tight the whole time.
Yeah.
Between these two, but it just got closer.
Okay. So for Milo, I ended up with a 78. For Kristoff, I ended up with a 77. So Milo is winning by 1 for me.
And I have Milo winning by 3 because I have a 76 and a 79. But I like Kristoff better. Where are you at?
Well, I know your parcel. So where is Kristoff?
I don't think it's going to help. For Milo, I have him at an 82.
Ooh, nice.
And Kristoff is an 83.
By
1 point. Okay. Oh my gosh. Where are the...
So guys, fun. This is fun. So Kristoff got +2 from the patron. Milo got +1, but social media voted for Milo. So it is both +2s. It evens out for that. So I have Milo winning by 1.
And then how much did you have Kristoff winning by, Marissa?
By 1.
So Katie,
I don't want to be that guy again. Katie, I'm not doing it again.
What's your score, Katie? How much is Milo
It's the same thing as last time where it's up by 1.
Milo's up by 1?
No, he's up by 3 for me.
So
but if you both are reverse.
So it's a +3 to Milo point wise right now.
I can't believe I did that again.
I know.
What was our...
Milo was the 78 for me.
Yeah, and I had a 79.
And I can't believe I let you all talk me down from getting Kristoff less points.
I gave Kristoff more points.
Yeah, he got more points for me in this.
Where else? Oh my gosh. I feel like I may have moved Milo up, but I don't know if I did. I mean, Marissa, your top 3 scores to swing. Either Indy or I for Kristoff. Just for reference, for Sweetheart, I have a 30. And then for Supportive, I have a 46.
I have the same for Supportive.
Well, Responsible, I gave him a 5 and I already gave you that pitch.
I think I already moved him up.
I did move him up.
I also gave him a 5 for Respectful.
I gave him a 4.
And
why did I give him a 3?
Oh, I don't know.
Why did you give him
that? Seems
3?
Low.
What did he do to you?
I gave him a 4.
Know.
I gave him a 4.
I'm just going to give him a 4 because I feel like that's really low. So, okay, we have 1 singular point. 2 point gap. Marissa? Yeah, 2.21 seconds on the clock.
I don't know. I hate it, but I also feel pretty confident in it because I don't think he deserves that much more. Frozen 2 Kristoff, come back to me later.
That's the big thing is like Frozen 1 Kristoff does really well. Like especially but Frozen 2's Kristoff is spectacular.
Yeah.
So
he is the moment.
So
which is great because he's not, it's very different than David, where David is built to be this.
Yeah.
And Kristoff is not built to be that. Yeah. And for him to be so.
Well, I am okay with Milo winning. Okay. I was pleasantly surprised by Milo.
I was too.
I would prefer that Kristoff win it all, but
I had Kristoff.
I can give it to him.
Making it past here as well.
Yeah, I did too in my bracket. Yeah.
And then it's me fucking it all up.
Yeah. There it is. You got it. You get the one.
It's me. I deserve to be directed. That.
It's all good.
For that to be directed at.
That's all good. It's okay. It's okay. Tarzan got out for me, and he was my last dog in this fight. So I think that means Milo passes with what, +2 for you?
Yeah, now +2. That's it.
By 2 points.
Wow. Versus Hercules next week. Marissa, do you have last minute comments?
Yeah.
Or are you just still in awe?
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Thank you so much for coming on here with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week for Final 4 of David, Shang, Hercules, and Milo. We'll see you guys next week.
What a group.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Damsels in Dialogue. Tune in next week as our co-hosts' own sweethearts join the discussion to see which of the final 4 make it into the championship round.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you can help us reach even more listeners by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a rating or comment on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you are listening.
If you want to join us for even more discussions about all the women we have covered this season, head over to our Patreon. There you can support the podcast and unlock an entire library of our exclusive after-hours video podcasts with new episodes arriving each month. You can also unlock research notes, bloopers, and more.
Follow us on social media and at our website on damselsindialogue.podbean.com. Until next time, this has been Damsels in Dialogue.
Have a nice day.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Royal Princess Parties, LLC, and is produced by Hello Out There Audio, part of Hello Out There Productions.